Hi, this is Marva Nichols, host of the Hugh That Podcast on MTMV Sports Podcast Network, and it is homecoming weekend here in Grambling, Louisiana, and I have linebacker Kiefer Phillips, Vyron Brown tailback, and Randy Hymes QB and wide receiver, former G-Man, and I will be right back. Happy homecoming, everybody. Happy homecoming.
Happy homecoming.
Hi, this is Marva Nichols, Miss GSU 1991-92, and it is Grambling Homecoming 2022, and I have my G-Men brothers with me on tonight. I have Vyron Brown, tailback, and former G-Man, and Randy Hymes, G-Man quarterback and wide receiver with me, and hopefully I can get my brother Kiefer Phillips back on. It's a lot going on down here, and it's busy, but I'm going to bring Vyron on because he is the head coach of what school are you the head coach of, Byron?
The Lane College Dragons. How you doing, G-Man?
Yes. And you gotta get to your team because I think you're traveling and transition. But I want to say hi to my brother Randy Hymes. Randy, what's happening with you?
What's going on? How y'all guys doing over there? How you guys doing? Homecoming.
Yes. But without further ado, I'm gonna Randy sit tight for me. And I'm gonna talk to Byron so he can get to his listen, man. I'm so glad to have you on. Tell us who you are, where did you play, who you played for. Give us a synopsis of your G-Man life when you were here at Grambling State.
Well, first of all, I want to give honor to Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior, and I want to say thank you, Miss Grambling, for having me on the opportunity to speak to G-Man Nation. I'm from Shreveport, Louisiana. Played at Woodlawn High School. Wasn't too far for me to go to school. Glenn Hall recruited me from Shreveport to come to Grambling. That's how I ended up at Grambling. My daddy had talked to Glenn Hall and then decided that was the best place for me to go, which turned out to be everything for me. I was in Eddie Robinson last recruiting class, came in playing defensive back, and then when Coach Rod retired, Coach Williams took the helm, and the rest is basically history. We all started as young puppies together. We took our licks. It wasn't a whole bunch of transfers that Coach brought in. He said, we're going to build a program the right way, the correct way, and that's what we did. And then we ended up winning 2 championships in a row. I was the captain of one of the 4 captains of the team in 2000, 2001, and then 2002. That's when I started coaching. So this marks my 20th year of being a college football coach. One of my most memorable moments about homecoming was in 1998. We was having practice on Friday, and Coach Williams' brother, Mike Williams, came to practice, and he just talked to us as he was a former alumni. I was used to seeing Grambling win, and he said, I'll never forget, he said, y'all ain't put on enough. It's not enough effort, ain't no prize. I'm like, man, I work hard every day, so I took that personal. So that next day, they started me at tailback, and I had 31 carries for 200 yards and didn't play in the fourth quarter. So that's one of my most memorable moments of homecoming, besides us winning all the rest of them after that.
Wow. Let me tell you something. How did it feel walking down in the hole back in the day when you were a young buck on this campus?
Well, it was a transition period. Coach Rob was moving out, and Coach Williams' era was beginning, and everybody wanted to come see what was going on. I still remember our first ball game against Alcorn. I think we won 9-7 or 10-7 or something like that. But whatever we had to do that night, and we all was freshmen, we knew we had to win that game because we were starting something new. And it's been special to us. Some years we didn't have a two-home game, so we knew we had to win those two home games. And I think we lost one to Texas Southern in '99 when the dude picked the ball off and went 99 yards on us to the house. Besides that, we controlled the yard.
Whoa. Come on, let me tell you. When I was a student here, well, I was here from '88 to '93. Look, the G men ran the yard, like you said. It was,
Ran the yard.
winning is all we knew. And I wanted to just ask you, and even ask you to give some encouraging words to our current players because they've gone through a lot this season. But what type of words of encouragement can you provide the current G men? As
Well,
I know I got to wrap you up so you can get to your team with Lane College football team. But what words of encouragement can you give our current team?
don't quit. Believe in yourself. Trust your coaching, and give you everything you got. A G-man plays with his heart. And if you got Grambling on the inside of your heart, no matter where you at or where you go, it's gonna come out. But if you don't do it right. Uh, Give 120%. I know Grambling has some outstanding athletes. They're just going through a little hard time right now. But I believe in Grambling, and everyone that's a true G-man that love the school believe in what our football program and all our programs do. So just go Tigers.
Yes, man. Well, let me tell you something. I appreciate you coming on. Good luck to you and your team. Are you playing tomorrow?
Yes, we play Savannah State tomorrow at 5 o'clock. So we're actually in Savannah, Georgia right now eating dinner. So we're getting ready to close out the season, and it's their senior day tomorrow. So we're going in there and play our best game. It's our senior day too.
I'm so proud of you. I'm so
Thank you.
proud of you leaving Grambling and actually being an extension of Coach Rob and Coach Williams, and that you are now mentoring young men and coaching them not only in football but in life. I know that they love you, and I love you too, man. I want you to continue to be great. And look, I'll be looking up the scores tomorrow to make sure you got that win. Okay.
Yeah.
And thank
Hey,
you for joining us. I'm going to bring Brother Randy on now. And so,
appreciate it.
again,
Thank
good
you.
luck to you. And thank you again for being on the show.
All right.
All
Hey,
right,
holler at you later,
man. I'll
Randy.
see you later,
All
man.
right.
Kick
All
butt
right.
tomorrow. Kick butt.
We will. We will.
All right. And now I got Brother Randy Hymes on the podcast. Oh my God, this man is the magic man right here. This the magic man. He makes it happen. He just
I
made it
appreciate it.
happen for me, man. I'm pulling for all these G men. Let me tell you, this is a businessman right here. He got all the guys. Well, at least he got Vyron for me because some of the G men are right now at a reception at the Robinson Museum. Herman RV, the commissioner, that's what they call him. He wasn't able to get on because he's managing that whole thing. But I got Kiefer Phillips on here. I'm gonna bring him on after Randy because he's one of all Rob's boys, right? But we're gonna bring Randy to the audience. Randy, tell me how you doing, man.
I'm doing good, man. It's good to be back at my second home. It's always good to be back home, especially during homecoming time, where you get to meet up with everybody who you first met when you first got to school.
Yes. You know what? And I met you, I guess, a few years back. And every time we see each other, we always have to get our picture. We always embrace each other. And let me say this. I wasn't at Grambling when you were playing, but I heard some magnificent things about you. Tell the audience, what was your career like here at Grambling? Tell us, how you were recruited, and how you got to Grambling.
Oh man, 1998 was the year I was recruited. And it was really all a blessing coming out of high school. in '98. I was finishing up my season when Eddie Robertson was finishing up his last season in '97, and the spring of '98 is when Doug was hired to be the head coach. And Melvin Spears is who came and got me once he saw the film that was sent over by my high school football coach, Carl Terrebonne, who went to Louisiana Tech, and he thought Grambling would be a good fit. Highly recruited coming out of high school, but he thought Grambling would be a good fit. With Doug Williams being the head coach, and then of course, hearing the stories, about me playing quarterback, free safety, because Todd Bowles, who's the head coach of Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who told me the story that him and Doug was kind of back and forth with me playing quarterback and free safety, because Todd Bowles, Coach Todd Bowles knew that I had the potential of playing on the next level, whether it was quarterback or playing receiver. But coming out of Hitchcock, Texas, that's down by Galveston. That's where I'm from. Born in Galveston. A lot of talent down in that Galveston County area. But the recruiting deal for me was very scary, being recruited by a lot of schools. But it was more exciting because I watched the Super Bowl when I was 8 years old, when Doug had won it, and my aunt who raised me, Carolyn Mack, she was a big sports fan, and see you going to Grambling, and I had no idea about Grambling. I with my basketball coach, Chester Smith, who played at Texas Southern, and his coach was Lacey Reynolds, who was the head coach at Grambling, who recruited him, but he used to coach him at Texas Southern. But I still had no clue about HBCU.
Wow. And you ended up at an HBCU, and you ended up at Grambling State University, one of the winningest programs ever, and still is. We still dominate. Our record is just, it would take, you're like light years ahead of most of our opponents in the SWAC. Even though, it's looking like the blue and white team is, on top. But I just believe that Grambling is going to show up and show out in the very near future. And kids will still want to play for Grambling. Let me ask you this. What was one of your most memorable homecoming game moments?
Oh, man, I had a lot of them. I had a lot of them. I think my most memorable one was when I first got a chance to play in the Bayou Classic at the receiver spot, which was in 1999. But that year, Doug Williams was like, hey, because I had set out in 98, and Doug was like, hey, if you're going to play quarterback, I'm going to have to sit you again, which I felt like, I was talented enough to play the position with far as being ready.
Right.
And he said, you play receiver, you're going to play. I'm like, I play receiver because it was easy. Of course, being a three sport athlete, because I played it here, football, basketball, and I ran track. And I also did it in high school. I did the same thing, played quarterback and receiver in high school. And so my most memorable moment was when I was able to showcase, my skill set on national TV, in front of all my friends, my family, and my hometown.
Wow. You know what? It's nothing like, reminiscing about those moments. And I know it gives you probably chills, but that's something you always kind of can go back in your mind and remember how great you were, and in your prime, Now I see you too at the Bayou Classic, because you're a Bayou Classic MVP, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, and I see you in the blazer, I think, every year, which is a great honor. But tell us, I think you went to the NFL, is that right?
Yes, 2002. Most people don't know this, but of course, I was coached by Coach Larry Wright. I mean, basketball was my favorite sport, and so obviously, I played it because my uncle Linton Hymes, he was with the Trailblazers. I think years when Coach Larry Wright was, in the NBA. But yeah, football, the NFL chose me because I was, I wanted to go to the NBA as well. So I was that same guy in the blue and white off up I-20, who was multiple sports, just like Bo Jackson as well. But 2002, went to the Baltimore Ravens, stayed there 4 years, and I was in Jacksonville in 2006 and Minnesota in 2007.
Wow, you are an absolute phenom. I
And
never knew that.
what nobody else knows. So when I was in Baltimore, Rex Ryan, he was a former head coach for the Jets, but he was also our defensive coordinator. He was trying to get me to go play baseball for the Baltimore Orioles when I was in Baltimore because he never seen nobody throw the football as far as I did one day at practice.
Wow. Randy, man, I wish let me say this. I have to give my brother Broderick Fobbs his props because he gave us some great moments in this
Oh yeah.
last era with Kincaid and Martez and
Oh
Chad
yeah. Oh yeah,
and
man.
Vernon Hunter and Chester Rogers and
Uh,
so many of those kids that
Trent
did
Scott.
well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Trent
Trent Scott.
Scott.
I
Yeah.
mean, we had a great run, and hats
Yeah.
off to my brother, our brother, and my friend. What a phenomenal job he did
Yeah.
when he took on the G-Men, and we will never forget uh, that celebration bowl where we won by 1 point. And I travel. I've never traveled that much. I never traveled that much for Grambling football until he started coaching, and we just want to, he is a G man as well, and we want to
Yeah.
say hats off to him, and that era will never be forgotten. And we are today the only SWAC team to win that Celebration Bowl, and so I just wanted to say that to my brother and friend Broderick Fobbs. But Randy, I want you to stand by because I'm getting ready to bring the big guy, the big LB on my
Yeah.
brother. Oh, Kiefer, man. Look at him. Big
Big King,
Red,
what's up,
keep
baby? What's up,
moving
Big King?
along. Right on, right on, right on, right on. You don't know that song, Kiefer?
So yeah, I know it. I had to sing it a few times, and alto and soprano. I pulled them both off.
Randy, I'm gonna put
What's
you
up, Red?
on. He said, "Hey man, look, Randy, stand by, okay? What's up,
How
Kiefer?
you doing tonight?
Man, I'm so glad to see you, man.
Thanks for having me on. Forgive me for a little bit of the road noise. I was teasing Randy earlier about his connection, and then I moved one iota, and then I ran into the same issue.
Yes, you did, but I knew you were coming back. You're a man.
Yeah, I got to come back. Yeah,
I knew you wouldn't let
resilience,
me down. I knew you wouldn't
resiliency. I
let me
think you're gonna ask me a question about something I learned from Rob. Resiliency. Don't ever give up. Come
down. Come
back.
on,
Press all
man.
the buttons you got to press to make sure they connect.
I love it, man. Come on, bring Rob in the room tonight, man. Let me tell you,
Yeah.
that's our father, mentor, coach. Man, I had the opportunity to work in the athletic complex for Coach Ellis, but I was always able to, you know, have things to say to him. He always had something to say to me. What a phenomenal, great man he was. Now, Keeper, tell me about how you were recruited to play for Grambling. We know you played linebacker, but give us a story about how you were recruited.
So I was recruited. They had back in the days something that we trying to reinstitute now to help support. So they had like area guys that were Grambling guys that would come out and be at like the sports academy or anything like that. And his name was Bird, Coach Bird. I just know he was Coach Bird. I don't know what he coached, but I know he's affiliated with Grambling. But I got recruited through Grambling through Coach Junior. Coach Junior was my who came and picked me up in the station wagon, the old Coach
Wow.
Paul wagon we used to call it, and picked me up, Randy Paul, and one of Randy Paul's two linemen from Plaquemine High School. So we had
Wow.
just beat them for our homecoming. So that was a 3-win season. So I ain't gonna act like we really did much, but we beat him. We won homecoming, and then we Coach Junior came picked us up, and I never forget Chief, the dude named Chief, snored all the way up there, and Coach Junior did about 55 miles an hour
Oh
all the
man.
way up there. I was like, man, either wake this man up, Coach Junior, or speed this car, one of the two. But whenever you
Exactly.
get me back home, It's gonna cost you. But it
Wow.
ended
Oh
up,
my God.
yeah. So it ended up getting to the new stadium. They had just built it. Coach Rob, unfortunately, was out trying to recruit and make money for the school, which I understand now how tough of a task and how difficult a task that could have been. So he wasn't there, unfortunately. We had some conversations where we talked. We watched some films on him, so I was a little bit hurt by that. So I got derailed a bit. Went to USL, and then I finally made my way back home to Grambling. And I regret ever going to USL, not starting doing all my 4 years here.
Wow. Wow. So look, tell me how practice used to be with Coach Rob and the other coaches. Give
So
us an
Coach
idea what it
Rob,
was like.
me and Coach Rob is like we got like a threefold. So Coach Rob is from Jackson, Louisiana. I'm from Jackson, Louisiana. Coach
Wow.
Rob went to McKinley High School. I went to McKinley High School, and my mom lived probably about 50 yards from Eddie Robertson Senior Drive. So we go all the way back. So one of my first practices, when I realized you got to walk from the dorm all the way to practice, I was like, "What the hell's going on up here like that?" But I made a big play, and he said, "My homeboy ain't taking no wooden nickels." So
Come on.
I ain't never let nobody ever live that down that he called me his homeboy, because I didn't know if he knew who I
Oh,
was, because I had to walk on when I did transfer and get back on the team. So that several other sayings, of course, but just the fact that his attention to detail, he ain't forget nothing. Him always encouraging us to do the best we can. So the '92 year, I spent on the scout team, working out probably one of the best offenses that ever came through Grambling. Going hard with them every day in practice, and just to see that culmination of that year, how it closed out in the Heritage Bowl, just all them great players being able to play against them every snap, every down, every day was a great thrill.
wow. Who was the quarterback during the '92 season?
Alex Perkins.
Alex Perkins. I
So
remember what's
Perk
his number.
Gant
What was
was the
his number?
tailback.
Who?
Perk was 16. Perk was
16.
16.
And you said what's my boy you just said
Stevie
from
Anderson
Florida?
was a receiver. Eric
Oh, I
Gant was
remember Stevie
running back.
Anderson.
Dexter Butcher.
Man.
But the big
Oh yeah.
kahunas was my boys, the G-Man Nation boys. So the lineman is who I dealt with. So that's who accepted me. That's who took me in. My room dog, Herman RV, which was I played at USL with his brother. So I met Herman in Opelousas eating some of his mama red bean before I even
Oh
made it to
yeah.
Grambling. So when I got to Grambling, him being a big dog, that kind of gave me a slide in once he accepted me. So it was all good. So him, Chief, Evinsky Davis, Bobby Bird, everybody, Zoom, Big Chief, all the O line, Tracy Green, tight end. So it used to be a fun feat every day at practice. So
Man,
again,
you guys were some funny guys. You all are some funny guys, you know.
yeah, we're some funny old farts now.
Yeah, no, man, y'all funny. I'm
I like to be
telling you.
around them because I'm younger than them. So I always been the
Like you
oldest
the
at
baby
home
boy.
and
You
everywhere
you
else.
you the
So now
baby
I'm
of
the
the
baby
group.
boy. Yeah. I get in the back seat. I get in the back seat. I carry bags. I do whatever I need to do to go for
You
work,
know what?
whatever they
That
ask me, I'm
rites
gonna
of
do it.
passage, wasn't it really something?
Yeah.
And it really meant a lot. And I can say traveling with you all as Miss Grambling, with the G Men and Coach Rob and even his wife. We had those chartered planes, and I can remember getting off the plane and walking through the airport, and everybody would be looking at us,
Right.
and it was just an honor. It was so much pride, and we had the little dilemma with the G on the helmets and things like that. People felt that that was too much, but I heard Adrian Finley talk about the season when coach, took the, G's or whatever. And I just felt like, the kids, when I talked to some of the guys, because I've gone around and they're like, look, we wanted to earn it because they want to live up to the standard. Those young men that's
Correct.
playing now, they look up to you all and they have so much respect for you. Can you give them some words of encouragement or some words of advice uh, today for
Yeah.
tomorrow's game, Kiefer?
So most definitely. So the biggest thing is to make sure that they stay together. They stay insulated as a group. They make sure that they're working hard as they can possibly work in practice and not just in the week. And try to make each other better. Be honest with each other. Making sure that they look each other face to face, knowing that they're gonna go out there as a team and leave everything on the field. And they'll get better. They'll get better over time. But as long as they stick together, knowing that they can come through anything together, and that they have 100% of our support, They're a G-man. They'll be a G-man forever, G-man for life. So we know how we stand. We got tremendous amounts of love for them, and we know who owns the sweat and who runs the sweat. That's Grambling.
Come on.
So they're going to get back to that prominent figure. So they're on the right track. They just got to work hard and team and make sure that they love each other, have each other's back, and go out there and fight whatever they got to fight and face against. They have the nation behind.
Man, you just preached the whole sermon. We need to pass the collection plate. I love it. And guess what? Your words mean so much. When they watch this, I'm gonna send the link to them tonight before we even drop it. I'm gonna say, now don't you post this, but I'm gonna drop it first thing in the morning. I want
No
everybody
social
to
media for me. So you got it. You in good shape.
exactly. But those young men, they're going to love to hear from you all because they know that they're standing on your shoulders and they really want to do a great job and make you all proud. Now, look, every week, Coach and I, we get on here and we chop it up, but then we talk about his pregame meal. So y'all, now, Randy, what did you used to eat before the games? What were your pregame meals like?
I'm pretty much the same as it was kind of like it was in the pros where you ate spaghetti, grilled chicken, salad. That was pretty much it. Nothing too greasy, nothing too heavy. Obviously something to get you ate spaghetti to give you some energy and things of that nature. But
Y'all
you
wasn't,
know,
they were really, hey, we never knew what y'all's training table looked like. Kiefer, what y'all used to eat before the game?
Opponents. I saved my appetite to the game.
Come on here. You were
That's it.
like Coach you say, he was hungry for the win. Now look, now we've been having this grit challenge. We about to wrap it up. We had this grit challenge. So I asked all the other coaches that came on, okay, do you eat sugar or salt and pepper on your grits? Now, Kiefer, which one do you use with on your grits?
I'm watching my figure right now, but I eat salt and pepper.
Come on here. Yes, me too. All right, all right. All right, Randy, what's up? Sugar or salt and pepper? I can't hear you. What?
Can you hear me?
Now I can.
A sprinkle of salt. It's a sprinkle of salt.
Just a sprinkle of salt. Man, Coach Hugh, he
Yeah, I'm
losing.
like
He
Keith, man. I'm
losing
trying
this
to watch this
challenge.
figure, man. I'm trying to watch that figure, man.
Oh man. Man, y'all still watching y'all figure? What you watching it for?
Yeah. Gotta make sure it's right now. Yeah, gotta keep it
Man,
tight.
you are a three sport athlete and all that. When I see you, you still are pretty much slim. Now let me ask
Randy in
you,
great shape.
he really is.
Randy in great shape. I
Yeah.
watch my figure walk out the door and just embarrass me. That's what I watch mine.
Well, I got one last question for you. Who was your favorite Miss Grambling, whether she was in school with you or not?
Marva Nichols.
Come on here. Bingo. Who was your favorite Miss Grambling? Randy.
You know what? I was to myself, but since I've been acquainted to you, I think Kelly Butler was the Miss Grambling.
Okay.
I know Miss Butler, but you and I we've come to touch and agree on some things. So we
Yes.
we done built a bond and relationship. I can say that.
Well, let me tell you, you guys are my brothers forever. I love you guys. Thank you for all that you're doing for the current G-Men. You all have donated money. You all have been mentoring them. You all have been, you've come alongside Coach Hugh Jackson, and I must take my hat off to you guys. Tip my hat. I wore my hat tonight with
And
you
I
guys.
got one thing to say about Coach Hugh Jackson.
Go ahead.
I was talking, I talk to Coach Hugh whenever I come back. We go way back when he was in Cincinnati, when I was in Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
But it's special to me, about Hugh Jackson being here because for one, Grambling is the first to do everything. First and foremost, we're the first to do everything, and we're the first to have an NFL head coach to coach our program.
Yes.
The second first, I got my first touchdown against Hugh Jackson, and now he's the head coach of Grambling State University. So that means a whole lot
Yes.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So and I feel the day that we signed him, I felt like he fitted the Eddie Robb um replacement for
Yes.
it, just like Coach Forbes.
Yes.
Just like Coach Forbes, they fit because they are men of God first, integrity,
Yes.
and they know
Yes.
what that G stands for.
Yes.
They know what the G stands for. I was coached by Doug Williams. Of course, Coach Spears became the head coach, later years later. But all these guys understood the legacy of the G.
Yes.
But for myself, with Hugh Jackson being the head coach, is real special, because it just seemed like it just come back full circle for myself. First head coach, in Grambling history from an NFL head coach, my first touchdown against him. So it's a big deal for me.
That's phenomenal. And just getting to know Coach Hugh over the last few months, he is an awesome man. Like you said, of God, he's an awesome mentor and coach. And the young men just love and admire him. And that says a whole lot. It's one thing to play for someone or play for a school, but when you admire your leader, and as Calvez gave him the ball on behalf of the team on last week, that was just a phenomenal gesture. And it really meant a lot to him. But Coach and I share prayers with him. He'll text me back, or we'll talk about certain things. And he is I call him the executive coach of the SWAC. We have other coaches who have played in the NFL, or they have a certain demeanor. But he's just, because we're Grambling, right? We're chill. We're not new to this. We're true to it. And so he came in and he was the right choice. And I really believe that. And I concur with what you said. And Kiefer, give us some last words. Is there anything that Coach Rob has ever said to you that comes to your mind? Because we know that Coach Rob built this house, and you had the opportunity and the honor to play for him. Was there anything that he ever said to you or the entire team that has been close to your heart throughout your life? You got to unmute.
I'm sorry, one of his trademarks would say like "Hell, we Grambling," what it meant to Grambling, but probably to me as one day standing in the dorm, standing in the door in the dorm, and he came and told me as long as his name was on the marquee, I would be the starting linebacker. So that's the only thing I ever really cared to hear from him. So that was the
Wow.
best for
You were
me.
his
And one
starter.
word out to Coach you. Want to thank him from the G-Man Nation of everything that he's been opening up for us, allowing us to have carte blanche to his team, allowing us to speak to the G-Men and share with them. And I just want to hear one last word from me from them is we're never beating them down with legacy because they are part of the legacy. So even if we bring that up, just make sure that they process and understand they are part of what we're speaking to, and that for them to never forget that they Grambling. They wear
Man,
that G for a reason.
yes, you guys are so wise. And I just love you. I respect you. I honor you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you from the eras that you played. And I'm so honored to have had you all on the Hugh That podcast on MTMV Sports Podcast Network. And I'm gonna have you guys back again in the very near future. I want to do some things with the G-Men Nation in the very near future. But again, I just wanted to tell you all how much I appreciate you and admire you. And we're going to wrap up right here. And I want to thank the audience for tuning in. And as I always say, it's all good, it's all God, and it's all Grambling. Happy homecoming, everybody. Bye-bye.
G-Man Nation.
Thank you.